Introduction. In the world of humans and the spirit realm, death is neither an accident nor a chance, it is fate, God's will, and the ultimate judgment. Death is not something we choose, it is our destiny. And here she comes, the angel of death, Azmael. Her name speaks for itself. Yet a spark of compassion, a single choice she makes, will change everything. Chapter 1, The Disobedience. A cold atmosphere lingered inside the hospital. A sign of Azmael's arrival. Her duty called again, an order from above. Her armored boots echoed on the floor. She wore a bronze suit. Her black hair fell to her shoulders. Her face was perfectly symmetrical, otherworldly, a beauty beyond comparison. Piercing eyes glimmered with divine light. Her black wings spread behind her, some feathers drifting slowly to the floor. In her left hand, she held a golden sword, a symbol of her spiritual authority. Inside a hospital room, Azmael witnessed an ironic moment. A child was sobbing, gripping her mother's hand. "God, please don't take her. She's my only life," the girl whispered, hope in her voice. Her mother lay pale and exhausted, sweat running down her forehead, struggling for each breath. Azmael watched silently. She saw the tears, felt the weight of the moment, but she was meant to follow God's order. "God's will," she murmured. A flicker of hesitation stopped her. She was not supposed to feel this, yet compassion filled her. Against God's order, she stepped back. The cardiac monitor's numbers dipped dangerously low, and then, against all odds, the heart stabilized. The child gasped. Doctors and nurses rushed in, checking vitals, astonished. "A miracle," they whispered. The girl looked outside the window, then back at her mother, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Thank you, God," she cried. But in the realm of spirits, it was no miracle. Azmael departed the building. A cold wind followed her. She had not taken the woman, knowing consequences would come. Thunder cracked across the sky, a sign from above. God had witnessed her disobedience. Chapter 2, The Fall. Azmael had just arrived in heaven. A bright, soft light filled the air, warm yet piercing, touching everything around her. At the gate, Archangel Michael stood in the alley, armored like her. His wings were white, his sword distinct from hers. Known for his warrior demeanor, Michael was the leader of God's heavenly armies and protector of humanity. "Azmael, the Father wants to speak with you." "Go to the throne immediately," he said calmly, his gaze steady and serious. Azmael nodded. She walked down the long alley toward the throne, knowing this was about her earlier disobedience. Every action had consequences. Angels were taught never to interfere with humans, this was a rule for every hierarchy. She had no idea what kind of judgment awaited her. At last, she stood before the Father's throne. Blinding, pure white light radiated from it, brighter than the sun. Its form was impossible to fully comprehend, a seat of infinite majesty and authority. Seraphim hovered around it, six-winged and veiled, radiating awe and devotion. Lightning and fire danced along the edges, pulsing with divine energy, reflections reaching into every corner of creation. The air thrummed with power and holiness, impossible for any mortal to witness without bowing. "Azmael," God's voice came, low, calm, and full of power. "Father," she whispered, kneeling and holding her sword in both hands, head bowed. "Why did you disobey my will?" "Forgive me, Father, for what I did," she said, fearful and respectful. "For this, you have disobeyed me. You are no longer welcome in heaven. From this moment, you are cast out." Azmael's eyes widened, shock freezing her. "But Father," she exclaimed anxiously. A sudden light struck her. In an instant, she vanished from heaven's sight. She fell like a bolt of lightning. To mortals, it appeared as ordinary lightning striking from the sky, but in the spirit, it was her fall. Her judgment. A choice that changed her world. Chapter 3, What Now? Earth, in the streets of Alpine Drive, Beverly Hills. Some neighborhoods had finished partying, while others were still awake. In one of the mansions lived Victor Grant, a 65-year-old man. An atheist. A famous Hollywood producer known for the stars he built and the movies he made. His mansion was a dream. A wide garden, a pool big enough to look like a private resort, and interiors so perfect that any normal person would envy them. Victor had it all: fame, fortune, and comfort. But what he didn't have was something far more important: a family. Victor couldn't have children. It was the reason he stopped believing in God. He simply accepted his fate. Every morning, he read books on his balcony, sipping black coffee, enjoying his solitude like it was routine. Then one night, a loud sound woke him. He opened his eyes, heart pounding. "What was that?" he murmured. He slipped on his slippers and walked toward the window. The curtains moved with the breeze. Nothing. He frowned, double-checking, then went to the front door. Still nothing. Finally, he stepped into his backyard. And froze. His backyard was ruined, the grass torn apart, a small crater in the middle. Smoke rose from it like something had just crashed from the heavens. Inside it lay a woman, naked, unconscious, her wings broken. Victor's mouth fell open. "You've got to be kidding me," he whispered. He rubbed his eyes, once, twice, hoping it was a dream. But it wasn't. It was real. He stepped closer, kneeling beside her. Her skin glowed faintly under the moonlight. He reached for her wrist. She was alive. Without hesitation, he rushed back inside, grabbed a blanket, and ran out again. He covered her gently, then carried her inside. In his guest room, Victor laid her on the bed. He sat on the sofa across from her, eyes wide, still processing what had just happened. His beliefs were unraveling. So, angels are real? God, he muttered, half to himself. He shook his head in disbelief, watching the woman's still form. Then she stirred. Her eyes opened slowly, confused and frightened. "Wah! What? Where am I?" she murmured. Victor stood quickly but kept his distance. "You're awake. Don't be scared. My name's Victor. You fell in my backyard. I brought you here. You're safe now. No one saw you but me." She blinked, trying to remember. Then the memories came rushing back, God's words echoing in her mind: "For this, you disobeyed my order, Azmael. You are not welcome in heaven anymore. From now on, you are cast out." Her eyes filled with tears. She was no longer divine. Her light was gone. Disobedience had cost her everything. She felt abandoned, forsaken. "I'm Azmael," she said softly. "I was a servant of God. But I was cast out. Thank you for helping me." Victor nodded. "I understand. But first, you need to rest. I already cleaned your wounds." Azmael looked at him, surprised by his kindness. It was rare, pure, undeserved. Victor's voice softened. "I live alone in this house. You can stay here. You can trust me. I'll figure this out. If you need. I can be your father." "Father," she repeated, her tone quiet, almost childlike. That word hit something deep inside her. In her heart, she knew, this was her life now. And Victor. He was the new father. Victor adopted her as his own daughter. Azmael now had a new life, a new family, a new name. She wasn't the old Azmael anymore. She was Azmael Grant, hiding her true identity behind a human name. Chapter 4, 12 years later. A gleaming flash of cameras filled the hotel ballroom. Paparazzi, reporters, and the chatter of the crowd buzzed as a press conference began. Inside, a long table sat beneath a giant movie poster. The cast and director were in their places, poised and professional. A reporter raised a hand, pen and notebook ready, lapel mic clipped to his collar. "So, what is this film about, and how did you resonate with your character?" The actress smiled, calm and composed. "This film is about the choices we make and the consequences that follow. As for me, I didn't exactly resonate with the character. I just followed the director's vision and channeled what needed to be channeled." Questions continued, one after another, until the hour-long conference came to an end. The actress hugged and shook hands with directors and staff. "I'm very grateful for this project," she said sincerely. The team smiled, pleased with the event. Waiters approached with champagne. "To the film, to Azmael Grant, and the entire production, congrats to us," the director declared. Glasses clinked, cheers filling the room. Azmael raised her glass, a small smile on her face, and drank. The angel of death everyone had known was gone. Her life had changed completely. She was Azmael Grant now, the daughter of Victor Grant, a shining star in the mortal world. To the public, she was just another human. Normal. Flawed. Visible. But the truth lingered. Her immortality, her divine essence, remained untouched. The Father hadn't taken that from her. She was made in His image, perfect, unyielding, eternal. God's words were power itself. She accepted that God had forgotten her, as if she had never existed. She could never return to heaven. Once one of His strongest and most trusted servants, she had been cast out. Her disobedience had torn her divine nature, leaving her known in heaven as the rebel daughter. Her purity was gone. Darkness lingered where light had once shone. And yet, she survived. Chapter 5, The Call. Another afternoon at the Grant Mansion. Victor sat on his favorite spot, the balcony. At 77, sipping black coffee and reading a book, he looked content. Azmael had just returned from shooting a new series in Studio 5. She stepped out of her car, closed the door, and saw Victor on the balcony. A smile formed on her face as she approached him. "Hello, Father," she said, tapping his right shoulder. Victor didn't notice her at first. "Oh, my daughter. How was your day?" he asked, turning to face her. "It was good. I'm glad you're enjoying the book I gave you," she replied. "Oh yes. I liked it. You never disappoint me, my daughter," he said warmly. Azmael grabbed a chair and sat beside him. She looked into his eyes, holding his hand gently. "Father, thank you for being a good father to me. I really appreciate it," she said sincerely. Victor leaned closer, holding her hand with both of his. "It's nothing. You are my sunshine. My daughter. The one who gave me a reason to keep living. Before you, I had nothing, no companion. You came into my backyard and changed my life forever. I never believed in God. I thought life had no meaning. I thought I knew everything. But then, God. A miracle. He gave you to me." His voice trembled, almost on the verge of tears. Azmael frowned, taken aback. "Wah. What are you saying, Father?" No, don't say that. He was never a father to me. He cast me out." Victor replied calmly, conviction in his eyes. "No, child. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I believe God Himself brought you to me, Azmael. He still has a purpose in everything." Azmael didn't respond. She simply remained silent. "Okay, Father. I'll go to my room now. I want to rest," she said finally. "Rest well, child," Victor replied, returning to his book. Azmael left the balcony and went upstairs. In her room, Azmael lay on her right side, hands under her cheek, eyes wide with wonder and questions. She couldn't stop thinking about Victor's words, "I believe God himself brought you to me. He still has a purpose in everything." Purpose? What? Purpose? Nonsense, she muttered, a sarcastic laugh escaping her. Her eyes blurred with tears, mixed with anger. "So, this is what you call a purpose, huh?" she whispered, directing the words to God. She shifted onto her left side, trying to relax. Minutes later, she fell asleep. The series had left her exhausted. She let herself rest deeply. Until midnight. Suddenly, her face twisted with fear. Her head shook uncontrollably as screams echoed in her dream. Souls crying for help, thousands of them, their voices desperate, lost. "Ah! Help me! Help me, help me!" Azmael jolted awake, sweat running down her face. She sat on the edge of her bed, breathing heavily, eyes wide. "Who was that?" she murmured, fear and confusion mingling in her voice. It was the first time a dream had haunted her so violently. Chapter 6, Angel of Death. A week later, afternoon at Studio 5. The production was busy, cameras rolling, crew moving in a precise rhythm. One camera followed Azmael as she delivered her lines. "Please don't leave me. I can't do this without you, Keen," she said, facing her co-actor. "And cut," the director commanded. A slate clicked, marking the take. The crew relaxed, returning to their stations as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Azmael thanked her co-actor and approached the director. "How was it?" she asked. "You nailed it. You never disappoint me," he replied with a small smile. "Thank you. Everyone did a great job today," she said sincerely. She waved to the crew. "Bye, guys. See you tomorrow." "Bye," came the chorus of responses. Azmael walked toward her RV to gather her belongings. Her phone buzzed, an unknown number. "Hello?" she answered. "Hello, is this Azmael Grant?" a woman's voice asked. "Yes. Who is this?" "This is Havenbrook Hospital. Your father, Victor Grant, was rushed here. He said you're his daughter. He asked me to call you." Azmael's heart skipped. She didn't waste a second. "What? Send me the address." The text arrived. Without hesitation, she ran, but then, instinctively, her black wings unfurled. She left her bag by the car and soared into the sky. Minutes later, she landed on the hospital rooftop. Her wings folded, and she raced for the exit. Inside, chaos surrounded her. Doctors and nurses rushed past, gurneys clattering, voices overlapping. "Isn't that Azmael Grant?" a nurse whispered. "What's she doing here?" another asked. Azmael heard it but didn't stop. She reached the counter. "I'm Azmael Grant. I spoke to you on the phone," she said. The nurse looked up, confused. "You mean 5 minutes ago?" She glanced at the records. "Okay. Room 207. Azmael didn't waste another second. She sprinted down the hallway. In room 207, Victor lay frail in his hospital bed. The years had aged him. His body was weak, fragile, waiting. Azmael's legs shook as she approached. "Father," she whispered, reaching for his hand. "My child. My daughter." "You're here," he said, eyes half closed, smiling. "Yes, I'm always here, Father," she replied. A sudden wind stirred through the window. Azmael felt it on her face, and she knew. "It's your time," she whispered, tears blurring her vision. Victor's hand was warm in hers. "Father? No, no, no. You can't die, she sobbed, clutching him. Victor remained calm, acceptance in his gaze. Child. Don't grieve for me. You're the angel of death, right? You know how this works. You're strong, Azmael. I love you. Thank you for coming into my life. I'm grateful, my child. So don't cry. I'll always be with you. Azmael stood back, stunned, frozen in grief and shock. The monitor began to beep. Doctors and nurses rushed in. Azmael whispered to herself, it's time. It's his time. She couldn't watch. She left the room quietly, tears streaming. In the hallway, the weight of loss pressed down on her. Inside room 207, the medical team tried everything, but Victor's body had reached its limit. Dr. Lucas Reed, observing closely, remembered Azmael's words. It's time. He watched the monitors. It was true. Time of death, 5:07 p.m., Lucas declared, glancing at his watch. He shook his head, awed and confused. She had been right. Chapter 7, The Purpose. Azmael landed on Grant's mansion, a flutter sound echoing as she closed her wings, still shocked. She looked at the balcony, her eyes blurred with tears. The balcony where Victor always read his book and sipped his coffee was now a living memory. A sudden scream of anger welled up in her chest. Azmael looked up. Is this the purpose you're talking about, huh? She screamed in anger, directing it at God. Can't you just leave me alone for a second, she added. What the hell is wrong with you? Victor was the only person who took care of me since you forsook me. And you ruined it. Again. She laughed hysterically, the sound turning into sobs. Her knees weakened, touching the grass as she lay on it, facing the blue sky. Why won't you just kill me now, she murmured. What did you create me for, if you knew all along that I would disobey you? She stood up and went inside the house. Walking into the kitchen, she opened the fridge and poured a glass of water. As she drank, a buzzing sound pierced her right ear. She froze, eyes wide. She knew the sound, a familiar one. Michael, she murmured. She turned around, and there he was. Michael stood in front of her, armored and holding his golden sword. Azmael, sister, he said. Michael. It's really you. How are you, my brother? She smirked, staring him up and down, shaking her head. Gosh. You're still hot as hell, brother, she added rebelliously, drinking her water. Michael ignored her jab and looked at her seriously. How are you? He asked. The father ordered me to talk to you, he added. Oh. I'm fine, brother. Still perfect as I could be. Don't worry about me, she said, turning back to the fridge and washing the glass. So, what is this about? Another stupid order from above, she asked, turning off the faucet. Then why wouldn't he talk to me himself, she added, smirking. Azmael, stop disrespecting our father. Michael's tone was serious. He shook his head in disbelief. What happened to you? You are not the Azmael I once knew. Is this what living with humans did to you? You've been corrupted, he said. Azmael ignored his disbelief and faced him with anger and rebellion. Oh, really? You think you can scare me, Michael? At least humans are nice to me, they really love me here. And what, father, are you talking about? Are you joking with me right now? She scoffed. You don't tell me what to do, brother. My existence was gone a long, long time ago, when he forsook me, when he left me to rot on my own, when he cast me out. He was never a father to me, Michael. The father betrayed me. And I can't believe you're just now asking how I am. And where were you when you knew the father had cast me out? I cannot believe you, brother, she said, her disappointment heavy. No, Azmael, he argued. You were the one who disobeyed the father's order. You did this to yourself, not the Father. That's why he condemned you. You know what happens if you disobey him. You know we are not allowed to interfere with humans without his consent. And how long do you think they'll like you if they found out who you really are? Humans are fools, Azmael, we are not like them. Do you think humans will still love you if they found out? Ask yourself, Azmael. You cannot hide it forever. Azmael couldn't argue back. Deep down, she knew every word he said was true. She turned to him with pride on her face. So why are you here, brother? To condemn me too, she murmured. I'm here to tell you that the Father orders you to do your job, Azmael. Azmael scoffed. Ha! What the hell are you talking about? Didn't you witness my fall, brother? This is my life now. Stop joking with me right now. But Michael's face remained serious. Azmael walked around the house toward the living room, Michael following. Those souls are screaming for help, Azmael, he said. Azmael froze and turned back slowly. What souls are you talking about? She asked. They stared at each other, Michael seriously. A flashback hit her, it was her nightmare from last week, the screaming voices. Michael nodded. Yes, Azmael. But. You've got to be kidding me, she said, confused, dismissing the idea. You're still the angel of death, Azmael. It's your job to take those souls back to where they belong. The enemy will claim their souls if you don't carry them across the veil, Michael said. Oh, come on, Michael. Stop with this nonsense. How can I? What do you want me to do, carry their souls and pass through the firmament? She faltered. I'm not Superman, brother. You know I can't do that, I can't cross anymore. Yes, Azmael. You just have to say the words, Michael replied seriously. Words? What do you mean? She asked, turning to think. When she looked back, Michael was gone. She focused again. Words. Suddenly, she knew. Her face lit with realization. It's your time, she murmured. It's your time, she finally said. A flashback from the hospital came, the day she said those words to Victor. She realized her life was different now, but her real job never left her. Azmael's fall wasn't the end. God made her for this duty, and no other angel could do what she does, her divine authority, her responsibility. She had been made in the image of God, one of his strong armies. Disobeying him had been her choice, but her purpose remained. Her purpose, the angel of death. Chapter 8, God's Will. In Grant's backyard, Azmael, wearing a black dress, hair tied tight, carried Victor's ashes. A flashback struck her, memories of Victor flooding back. I believe that God himself brought you to me, Azmael, she remembered him saying. He still has a purpose in everything. Azmael's eyes blurred with tears. Father, thank you for everything. I will never forget your kindness, she murmured. Slowly, she opened the urn's lid and spread Victor's ashes, right in the spot where he had first found her. The same spot she would always return to. She smiled through her tears, nodding in gratitude, recalling every happy memory together. Inside the house, Azmael carried the urn upstairs. She turned the doorknob carefully and opened the door. It was Victor's studio, where his works, awards, movie posters, and projects lined the walls. She placed the urn gently on his glass table, sighed heavily, and took one last look around before closing the door slowly. Meanwhile, at Havenbrook Hospital, urgency filled the air. In the ER hallway, a patient was being rushed on a gurney. Dr. Lucas Reed, surgical cap and gloves on, led the way, pushing with the staff. Let's go. Move, move, move. Lucas shouted, authority in every word. Clear the way. Code Blue. Room 7. Beside him, a young black woman, in her 20s, helped push the gurney, sobbing, panic-stricken as she watched her father lie unconscious. The gurney reached the ER. She tried to hold on, but staff gently pulled her back. "Dad," she screamed, clutching empty air as tears blurred her vision. Inside, tubes and monitors clung to the patient's body, the lights reflecting off the polished floor. Each beep reminded everyone how fragile his condition was. After a while, Dr. Lucas emerged and approached the waiting area, where the woman sat, frozen with fear. Her eyes widened at the sight of him. "How's my dad, doctor?" she asked, urgency and concern in every word. Lucas slowly removed his mask. "Your father's condition is still serious," he said with compassion. "He's stable for now, but he's not out of danger. Several tubes and lines are supporting his breathing and circulation, so we need to monitor him closely. At this point, all we can do is wait and see how he responds." Her face reflected dread. She clung to hope but understood this might be the last time she saw her father alive. "Thank you, doctor," she said, gratitude mixed with anxiety. Lucas nodded, understanding her fear. Every day, he faced similar situations, and a glimmer of hope for a patient's family meant everything. He was an expert, committed to his patients beyond money or fame. His father, Dr. Arthur Reed, had been his role model, instilling in him a deep sense of duty. He tapped her shoulder gently. "I will do everything in my power," he reassured her. The woman nodded, squeezed his hand, and whispered her thanks. Chapter 9, The Duty. Another night, inside the marble bathroom of Grant's mansion, Azmael had just finished her shower. She turned the knob until the water hushed, ran her hands through her hair, pressing it flat against her back. Steam fogged the glass door, droplets ran down its surface. She opened the door, grabbed a white bath towel hanging from the rack, wrapped herself, and headed to her room to get ready for her interview, her latest TV series. Azmael was about to open her cabinet when a beeping sound reached her right ear. "You've got to be kidding me," she said, astonished. She turned, and Michael was standing behind her. Azmael, still wrapped in her towel, water droplets running down the floor, stared at him. "Azmael," Michael said, urgency in his tone. "Michael," she exclaimed, bewildered. "As always, your timing is unnervingly precise, brother. What the hell do you want?" Her irritation crept in. "Do your duty, Azmael," Michael said, his voice level, almost detached. All right. Can you just let me change first?" "I'll do it later, I still have important things to do," she shot back, defensive. Michael looked at her one last time. "Be well." A hush filled the room as his white glowing wings spread. He stepped back and gazed at the ceiling, where a portal of light formed. In a second, he flew into it, and the portal vanished. Azmael turned back and continued getting ready. Hours later, at Havenbrook Hospital, Dr. Lucas sat on the stairs near the exit door, leaning his head, focusing on the hallways below. His eyes carried a hint of pressure, thoughts of yesterday swirling. He had promised, "I will make sure that I will do anything in my power." The hospital's weight bore down on him. From one patient to another, he never knew what fate awaited each. Lucas was skilled, yes, but even experts carried the burden of responsibility, the pressure of duty, of not failing. He stood, shaking off the weight, and headed to the cafeteria. Inside, staff and visitors moved with a slow, efficient rhythm. Coffee brewed steadily, faint antiseptic scents lingered from nearby corridors. Busy yet subdued, the crowd murmured, preoccupied. Lucas scanned the buffet line with a tray in hand. "A little of this, please." "Thank you." The cafeteria worker placed a portion of lasagna on his tray, added steamed broccoli and a slice of bread. He looked for a vacant table, finally spotting one. Other doctors at a nearby table noticed. Dr. Marie waved. "Dr. Reed. Join us," she called. Lucas smiled, going to their table, sitting beside Dr. Marie, facing two others. "What a table we have here," he teased. They all laughed and nodded. As he ate, a TV segment played in the background. A familiar voice caught his attention. Lucas turned, and froze. Azmael was on the screen. "Our team heard that right after you finished filming, a sad event occurred. How did Mr. Grant's passing affect you?" the host asked. Azmael's tone was low, respectful. Her eyes shifted, uneasy. She answered politely, but tension lingered beneath her calm exterior. Lucas watched, captivated. Around him, the other doctors chatted. "Isn't that Azmael Grant, the actress?" Dr. Marie asked, nodding toward the screen. Lucas continued eating, though his mind lingered on her. "She was here last week, right? I heard her father was rushed here," she added. "Yeah, I saw her, beautiful, though," another doctor replied. "Poor girl. She wasn't ready," Dr. Marie said, shaking her head, empathy clear in her voice. They continued eating. Lucas' eyes, however, felt a twinge of sadness, remembering the day he had seen Azmael in the hospital, especially her words, "It's time. It's his time." Curiosity and confusion stirred inside him. Something about Azmael tugged at him, unexplainable and magnetic. Chapter 10, Back from the Pit. Midnight, in Grant's mansion, Azmael had just returned from that insane interview and other shows. She stepped inside, kicked off her red high heels, and sank into the nearest chair, her body melting into the quiet of the room. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the weight of the day slip from her shoulders. Azmael sat still when a sudden vision hit her. She saw an ER, inside, a man lay connected to tubes. The vision stopped. "Are you kidding me? Right now?" "Really?" she muttered, annoyed and pressured. She knew what she had to do, she needed to say those words that would lead him where he belonged. She sighed heavily and stood up. Without changing her clothes, she grabbed her black coat, slipped on black sneakers, and headed to the backyard. Stepping onto the grass, she breathed deeply, her face serious and focused. She unfurled her black wings and soared into the night. A single black feather drifted down, landing smoothly on the grass. Azmael landed on the hospital rooftop, descended to the exit, and quietly opened the door to the hallway. She moved stealthily, luckily, no one was around. As she approached the ER, Dr. Lucas walked down the corridor, checking on patients. He saw her and paused, confused. What was Azmael doing here? He quickened his pace, but a nurse intercepted him urgently. "Doctor. Urgent, vitals dropping in room 202. Lucas hesitated. He wanted to check on her, but another patient needed him now. He glanced back at the ER one more time, then forced his focus forward. "Show me now," he said, authority sharp in his tone. Inside the ER, Azmael stood beside the patient's bed. The man lay unconscious, hooked to tubes. This was the moment she had to act, her duty, her responsibility. It was his time. She whispered the words. "It's your time." A soft light emanated before her, reflecting off the walls, equipment, and floor. The man's soul rose slowly from his body, warm and luminous. Azmael departed the room. Down the hallway, the man's monitor numbers plummeted, blood pressure dropping, oxygen saturation falling, heart rate spiraling downward. The heart monitor screamed in sharp, uneven beeps. Azmael flew from the hospital rooftop, having done what was right. She had embraced her responsibilities. She hadn't lost her purpose. The angel of death was back from the pit. Meanwhile, Dr. Lucas sprinted toward the ER. He pushed the door open and froze. The patient was gone. His eyes widened at the flat line on the monitor. He stood motionless, mouth slightly open, taking a sharp, shallow breath as the machine screamed its final news. Chapter 11, The Actor. In the past weeks, Azmael continued her duties. The souls were safe, the angel of death was doing her job perfectly, without any human intervention. She guided them to where they truly belonged. God's will would always prevail. One afternoon, inside Studio 5, the production house office buzzed with activity. Staff prepared for a new movie project where Azmael would be the lead. The director sipped his cold coffee while discussing the script with the writer near the whiteboard. Creative directors, production assistants, and other actors were scattered around, each focused on their tasks. All attention shifted when the glass door opened. Azmael arrived. She wore a plain black hoodie, black leggings, sneakers, her hair tied tightly. The team immediately stood to greet her. The director approached with a warm smile. "Hello, guys. Did I interrupt?" she asked, teasing lightly yet respectful, shaking the director's hand. "Hi Azmael." "No, not at all. We were waiting for you." "This new project is insane," he replied. Smiling, he turned and called the other actors over, introducing each one to her. Finally, he introduced the leading man. Footsteps approached. "Azmael, this is Asher." "Asher Damon," the director said cheerfully. The actor extended his hand. Their eyes met. Asher's strong features and piercing steel-gray eyes caught her attention instantly. His ashy black hair framed a face that seemed both enigmatic and captivating, someone who could rival Azmael's own presence. "It's nice to finally meet you in person." "Azmael," he said, smirking, and gently kissed her hand. Azmael felt a spark of curiosity and wonder. Something about Asher felt unusual, familiar, but she couldn't place it. "Oh. That was. She stammered, taken aback by the gesture. "I haven't seen you before." "Nice to meet you, Asher." "Oh yeah. Maybe you just didn't notice," he replied confidently, smiling. Azmael nodded, brushing off the curiosity with a small smile. "Maybe. Yeah, sure." Asher gestured toward the table with his left hand, letting her go first. "Oh, thanks, Asher," she said. "No problem, lady." "It's nothing," he replied, smiling warmly. Azmael sat in her chair, and Asher took the seat beside her. The director, watching them, teased, "The chemistry is undeniable." Azmael and Asher glanced at each other awkwardly and chuckled. Laughter rippled through the production room, lightening the tension and filling the space with energy. Chapter 12, The Glitch. Weeks later, shooting for the new movie had begun. Inside Studio 5, Studio 222, Azmael and Asher were in front of the camera, completely immersed in their roles. "I'll tell you now who I am. I'm a vampire, Lena," Asher said, his character facing Azmael. Their expressions were serious, professional, fully in character. "And cut," the director commanded. The scene ended. Actors and staff began packing up. Azmael walked over to the director to discuss the scene, arms crossed. Asher interrupted, urgency in his step. "Excuse me," he said respectfully. "I have an emergency, I need to go." The director glanced at him. "Oh, I hope it's nothing serious. Be safe." No, it's not that bad, but I need to go now." "Thanks, bye," Asher said, stepping back, waving both to the director and Azmael before turning and running. Azmael watched him go, a mixture of worry and confusion twisting in her chest. She couldn't figure out what the emergency was, or why it felt so urgent. Done talking to the director, she walked toward the hallway, and then, a vision struck her. It was different this time. Like a nightmare. A patient's soul rose toward the ceiling, but it was red, consumed with fire, screaming in agony. The echo burned in her mind. She opened her eyes, gasping, shocked. Something was very wrong. She ran, wings unfolding, flying to the hospital to intercept the soul. She burst into the room, but the patient was gone. She searched frantically, but there was nothing. Azmael stormed to the hospital counter. "Room 12, where's the patient?" she demanded, her face serious. "You're too late. He was declared dead an hour ago." "I'm so sorry for your loss," the woman said gently, assuming Azmael was family. Azmael ignored her, twisting with disappointment. Michael's words echoed in her mind, "The enemy will claim their souls if you don't carry them across the veil." Another soul lost. Another failure. She stood there, heavy with regret. Dr. Lucas emerged from the hallway, his attention initially on patient records, but then his gaze caught her. His eyes widened, serious and puzzled. "Azmael?" he murmured to himself. She didn't notice him and continued toward the exit. Lucas followed silently, compelled to see where she was going. She climbed the stairs to the rooftop. Lucas reached the top and opened the door. She was gone. He searched frantically, but the rooftop was empty. She had vanished like smoke. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. And then he saw it. A single black feather twisted in the wind on the floor. Lucas bent down, hand trembling, and picked it up. Its monochrome shine, deep and otherworldly, seemed almost impossible. He looked up, whispering to himself, how could this be? Could she be? No, no, no. It's nonsense. As a doctor, he didn't believe in the supernatural. Yet, he slipped the feather into his right pocket, the echo of the rooftop door lingering behind him. Something inside him had shifted, and he couldn't shake the unease. Chapter 13, Surprise. Another morning at Grant's mansion. Azmael is in the kitchen, cooking her breakfast. The smell of black coffee lingers, and a popping sound echoes as her toast pops up. Standing in front of the sizzling pan, Azmael fries an egg, arms moving expertly with the spatula, still thinking about the soul she failed to save, guilty that another innocent soul is now in the enemy's hands. So what do we have here, my twin flame? A man's voice strikes her, a familiar voice. Azmael freezes, eyes widening, mouth slightly open. What the, she murmurs, jolted. She has no idea who's behind her. Slowly, she turns her head. There stands a man. Asher, she says, speechless. What are you doing here? Why are you in my house? How did you? Asher is smiling, slightly smirking. He steps to the toaster and grabs the toast Azmael prepared. So, what do we have here? Oh, nice. He heads to the fridge, grabs strawberry jam, closes it, and spreads it over the toast. Taking a bite, he leans toward Azmael, smiling at her as he enjoys it. Azmael is flabbergasted. He moves through her kitchen like he owns the place, like they've known each other for centuries. She walks toward him, confronting him. Asher. I'm sorry. What? What is this? Am I missing something? She asks, uncertain, still confused. I really missed you, Azmael. Still alluring as ever, he replies, smirking, teasing, letting her figure him out herself. Been here for centuries, I have a lot to tell you. Humans are really fascinating, fools, as they are, they have no idea. How are you? Why did Father terminate you? Who would have thought that Azmael, the angel of death, would fall? I was really surprised when I saw you at that interview. Ugh. I thought I'd never see you again, but we were really destined for each other, Azmael. He shakes his head in disbelief. What? What are you saying? And how do you know? She pauses, still wondering who this man is, until, hello, she says, unsure, bewildered. Asher breathes heavily, relieved, spreading his arms openly. Ugh. Finally. You know that's not my name anymore, humans call me Lucifer, here. Stupid fucks. He murmurs, making quotation marks with his left fingers, smirking, then continuing to eat. Azmael's shock turns to anger. She steps close, interrupts his eating, and chokes him with her right hand. You fucking bastard. She shouts, face full of fury. Where did you take that man's soul? That soul is mine. Is this really why you came here? You have to tell me right now, where is the man? Asher raises his hand slowly, defensive. Whoa. What are you saying? Wait a minute. He puts down the bread on the countertop and brushes crumbs from his hands. Azmael slowly lowers her hand and takes a step back. What? What was that, Azmael? He shakes his head, holding his neck. What are you so mad about? I just came to see you, and now you want to kill me already? Is this how you welcome the one who got away? What kind of entity are you? He replies, sarcastic and defensive. You really know how to fuck with me, hello. Where did you take the man? She asks again aggressively. Man? What man are you talking about? He answers, confused. The man from the hospital. Where did you take him? Azmael explodes, furious. What? Oh, you mean the man from room 12? Is that why you raged at me? What are you so mad about? Of course I took him, his soul was dirty, he made himself come to me, and that's my job, Azmael, not yours. You know that bad souls deserve hell, it's my responsibility. What do you want me to do? He says, conviction in his voice. You know your duty, Azmael, right? You know the Father created you to cross those souls, but it's the Father's will where they lead. The Father's will, and I only take what's mine. Azmael is puzzled. Then, why did I see the vision? Asher immediately clears it up. Alright. I get the confusion now. Since you're cast out, you see the visions, but that doesn't mean all souls are yours to take. It's also mine, Azmael. When you were still in heaven, you only crossed them through the veil and left them down there. You didn't know what was waiting. You cross, the Father filters, and I take what's left, the dirt. Do you get it now? Azmael nods slowly, still puzzled. What? So why? How? She murmurs. And why would I make you angry, Azmael? You know I'd never do that. You know I have a crush on you, right? He pleads, teasing with a smirk, returning to the countertop to continue his bread. Azmael shakes her head, a mix of confusion and annoyance. What? What? Can you please? You're grossing me out right now. Oh, that sass. Why not? We're both fallen now. I'm the prince of hell, and you can be the princess. Happily ever after, he says, sarcastically, pleadingly. You know. This is why I like you, Azmael. You always leave me hanging. Can you please stop with the nonsense, hello? Every word you say makes me vomit, she snaps, shaking her head. Damn, alright. Easy, he smirks. I was just kidding. I know you'll never like me back. And say that name again, and I'll uncrush you, he adds. Azmael ignores Asher, thinking about Michael's warning, the enemy will claim their souls if you don't carry them across the veil. She remembers it again. She doesn't understand, it made her think the enemy was Lucifer, but apparently not. So, what enemy was Michael talking about, she asks Asher. I don't know. Ask him, he answers, unsure, continuing to eat. Azmael turns away, the thought lingering, she needs to know who the enemy truly is. Chapter 14, Revelation. It was late afternoon at Grant's mansion. Azmael had just come home from the movie shoot, completely drained. She headed straight for the bathroom to shower. When she came back down, her hair was still wet, her body worn out. She plopped down on the couch, grabbed the remote, and started flipping through channels, hoping to relax and distract herself. Her mind, though, wouldn't stop. Curiosity and urgency twined together, Michael's words still echoing in her head. She couldn't figure out what he truly meant. Finally, she decided to try something. She tilted her head toward the ceiling and called out. "Michael," she said boldly, hoping he could hear her. "Nothing." She sighed, shaking her head. "Stupid nonsense," she muttered. "Never mind." She went back to the TV and finally found a good movie to watch. The screen glowed across her face. She leaned back, sinking into the couch. The movie started, and then, a blinding beam of light flashed before her eyes. Azmael froze. The light wasn't from the movie. "Why did you reach out?" said a deep voice. Her eyes widened. It was Michael. Standing right in front of her. "Azmael," he said again, his tone sharp, authoritative. Azmael blinked rapidly, still half in disbelief. "Oh. I'm sorry, I thought that was part of the movie. Nice entrance, by the way, you scared the shit out of me." She rubbed her temple, trying to get her bearings. "So. It worked," she murmured to herself, amazed. Michael crossed his arms. "Is this just a game to you, Azmael?" he asked sternly. "Okay, relax, brother." "Gosh." She lifted her hands defensively. "I didn't call you for fun. I was testing if it worked, and it did. Fortunately. But seriously, I called because you made me embarrass myself." Her face hardened again. "Why didn't you tell me Lucifer wasn't the enemy? I got mad earlier, I tried choking him to death. I just died in embarrassment, brother." "Wait, what? Lucifer was here? How did he find you?" Michael asked, shocked. "I don't know. I met him at the studio, he was my co-actor. Turns out he saw me in that interview and followed me all the way here. Stealing my breakfast like he owned the damn place." She shook her head, still annoyed. Michael sighed. "I didn't say it was Lucifer." "Then why didn't you tell me?" "Of course I thought it was him, he was the first rebel since the beginning. And that man from my vision vanished the same day I met him." She stood, pacing slightly. "I called you because I need to know what enemy you were talking about. Can you please be more specific next time? So this shit doesn't happen again." Michael exhaled slowly, realizing the misunderstanding. "You're right. That's on me. I should have been clearer. The enemy I meant are the Watchers, Samayaza, Azazel, Arakiel, Ramiel, Kokabel, and Serial." Azmael's eyes widened. "Wait, what? Aren't they already bound down there?" "They are," Michael replied. "But those tormented souls, the ones you didn't cross, they go to them. They're trapped there. The Watchers punish them. And many more will suffer if you don't do your duty. You must cross the souls through the veil to complete their transition. Lucifer gets what's assigned to him, but you need to retrieve the tormented ones from the Watchers. How am I supposed to get them? Those Watchers will fight me. My job is just to cross souls. Michael, I don't have your strength. You're the warrior, not me. I'm the angel of death, not Darth Vader," she protested, frustrated. Michael's tone turned firm, commanding. "I will fight them. You will free the souls while I hold them off. The Father will declare the warfare. But until then, you'll need to work with Lucifer." Azmael's face twisted in disbelief. "What? Lucifer? Are you serious? I don't want to work with that idiot. I already have to see him on set every damn day, I can't stand him 24/7. Michael stepped closer, resting his right hand on her arm. His expression softened. We need him, Azmael. He might be able to distract the Watchers long enough for us to do what must be done. I can't believe this, she muttered, shaking her head, exasperated. But deep down, she knew she didn't have a choice. She sighed heavily. All right. I'll talk to him. Michael nodded. Take care, sister. And just like that, he vanished, leaving only the faint shimmer of light behind. Azmael dropped back onto the couch, staring blankly at the TV screen. Her thoughts spiraled as she whispered to herself, work with Lucifer. What the hell did I just agree to? Chapter 15, Nice to meet you. Azmael told Lucifer everything Michael had revealed, the Watchers, the tormented souls, the teamwork the three of them would need. Day after day, she and Lucifer balanced their divine and human duties. Azmael crossed souls every single night, Lucifer handled the ones already lost. One evening, Azmael visited Havenbrook Hospital for a private charity visit. A child with cancer had asked to meet her. Even though she was exhausted, she went, she wanted to lift him up. When she opened the door to room 202, she froze. A sharp memory hit her. It was that room. The place where she once defied heaven. Where she saved a mother she was meant to take. Where her disobedience began. She stepped inside anyway. The boy lay small beneath thin sheets, his eyes lighting up the moment he saw her. She smiled softly, walking closer. A man stood near the bed, Dr. Lucas. He turned, surprised. She's here, he murmured, then smiled politely. Hi, I'm Dr. Lucas. They shook hands. Azmael tilted her head, studying him. Hi, I'm Azmael. Have we met before? He nodded, a shadow crossing his expression. Yes. I was the one who held your father, Mr. Grant. I'm really sorry for your loss. Azmael nodded gently. I see. It's okay. Lucas continued, his voice softening. Thank you for coming. The little boy you'll be meeting, his name's Liam. He has stage 4 cancer. It spread beyond where it started. We're just keeping him comfortable now, making sure his days are full of good moments. Azmael's heart tightened. So. There's no cure. Not anymore, I'm afraid. But he's a fighter. He's having a good day today, and meeting you means everything to him. Azmael smiled sadly. Then let's make sure it's a good one. She turned toward Liam and brightened her tone. Hello, Liam. It's so nice to meet you. The boy's skin was pale against the sheets, a faint fuzz of hair catching the light like silver. His eyes were ringed with shadows, yet his smile filled the room, bright, pure, disarming. Tiny bruises dotted his arms from IVs, but his handshake was surprisingly strong. Thank you for visiting me, Azmael. You're very kind, Liam said. No, I'm happy to see you, Liam. Look at you, so strong. Her voice wavered, tears pressing behind her eyes. Then came a question she didn't expect. Do you think I'll go to heaven? Do you believe in God, Azmael? Her breath caught. She wanted to give him hope. Yes. Yes, I do. She nodded firmly. I'm sure of it, Liam. You'll go to heaven. She glanced at Dr. Lucas, he nodded approvingly, smiling faintly. When Liam finally fell asleep, Azmael stepped quietly out of the room. Lucas followed, closing the door behind them. It's rare to see him that happy, he said softly. Thank you. Oh, that was nothing, Azmael replied, brushing it off. I had nothing else to do anyway. I'm tired, but I never sleep early. She glanced sideways at him, smirking. You want to grab a late-night coffee? Lucas blinked, caught off guard, then smiled shyly. Sure. They walked to the cafeteria. The smell of roasted beans filled the air as they sat with two steaming cups between them. Azmael blew gently on her coffee, the steam framed her face. Lucas tried not to stare but failed, her eyes gleamed with quiet fire, her wet hair fell effortlessly, her lips red against the rim of the cup. "I know how hard it is, doing what you do," she said softly. "I really admire your courage." Lucas shrugged. "I guess I got used to it. My father built this hospital. When he passed, I promised I wouldn't fail him. These patients. Their lives are my responsibility." Azmael's expression softened. "I'm sorry. I didn't know." "It's all right. I deal with loss every day," he said with a weary smile. She leaned forward slightly. "It's your responsibility to care for them, yes, but don't carry the guilt when you can't save them. It's God's will. Whatever happens, happens." Suddenly, Azmael stiffened. Her eyes glazed over, another vision. Liam. It was his time. Lucas noticed her trembling. He reached out, gripping her arms. "Azmael. Are you okay?" She blinked rapidly, eyes wide. "It's his time. It's Liam's time." Lucas froze, confused. "What? What do you mean it's Liam's time?" But Azmael was already running. She sprinted down the hallway, flung open the door to room 202. Lucas followed, breathless. Inside, everything looked normal, Liam sleeping peacefully, machine steady. But Azmael saw beyond that. She whispered the words. "It's your time." A soft light shimmered above the boy as his soul rose slowly toward the ceiling, gentle, radiant. Lucas saw none of it, to him, only the monitors changed. Liam's vitals suddenly plummeted. The monitor screamed. Lucas jolted forward, disbelief flooding his face. He turned to call for help, but Azmael stood still, eyes on the light only she could see. "Yeah, Liam," she murmured, voice trembling. "You're going to heaven." A tear slipped down her cheek, but her lips curved into a small, peaceful smile. Chapter 16, The Truth. Liam's death wasn't the end, it was only the beginning. Azmael stood on the hospital rooftop, her eyes lifted to the heavens as if searching for God himself. The night sky shimmered with stars, and a cool midnight breeze brushed through her hair. In that stillness, she understood. Disobedience could never save anyone. The Father's will was always right, always to be followed. You don't question the Father, obedience is the only path to truth. A faint smile crossed her lips. Then a low buzzing hum filled the air, and a brilliant light appeared beside her. "Azmael," a voice called. She turned. "Brother? At this hour? What's the matter?" Michael's expression was grave. "It's time, Azmael. The Father has declared war, in 3 days, at 3 in the morning. On Mount Hermon. You must speak with Lucifer." Azmael nodded quickly. "All right." With a flash of wings, Michael ascended, vanishing into the stars. Azmael lingered for a heartbeat, then spread her wings and departed the rooftop into the dark. But someone had seen everything. At the back door of the rooftop, a man stood frozen, Dr. Lucas. His mind spun, his breath shallow. He couldn't believe what he'd just witnessed. Slowly, he stepped forward. A chill wind swept over him. As he looked up, a single feather drifted down, glowing faintly in the moonlight. It was the same feather he'd seen before, the night Azmael vanished like smoke. Now, it all made sense. Every time Azmael appeared, someone died. "It's time." Those words weren't ordinary, they carried a power only she possessed. Dr. Lucas, the man who had never believed in the supernatural, finally knew the truth. One encounter with Azmael had changed his life forever. Chapter 17, The Perfect Son. Another afternoon, the third day before the war. Azmael arrived on set and asked one of the staff where Asher was, but he wasn't scheduled to shoot that day. When filming wrapped, she asked for his number and left the studio in a hurry. As she was typing a message to him, her phone suddenly rang. It was Lucifer. His voice was slurred, the thump of loud music pulsing behind him. He sounded drunk. Azmael. Hey. I knew it, you do care about me. His tone was loose, unguarded. Are you drunk right now? Where are you? Azmael snapped, her concern cutting through her frustration. I'm at the bar. Why? You want to join me? He teased. She could hear him talking to a waiter, slurring over directions, glasses clinking in the background. Then his voice came back on the line. Meet me at Lucifer's Denver. I'll send you the address right now. This is not the time for jokes. Just tell me where you are, Lucifer. What? I am telling you. Lucifer's Den. That's the bar's name, not a joke. Geez, you're scaring me. The call crackled with static before cutting off. Azmael stepped into the bar. The air was thick with smoke and the low hum of muted conversation. Across the room she spotted Lucifer, sitting alone on a high stool, head bowed, swirling the amber in his glass in slow, circular motions. She approached quietly. Something in his posture told her he was breaking. Azmael slid onto the stool beside him. Lucifer didn't look up at first, but when he sensed her presence, he turned. His eyes were heavy, tired, hollow, and far too human. Without a word, she placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Lucifer, she said softly, what is this all about? He exhaled, a sound somewhere between a sigh and a laugh. Tell me, Azmael. Am I a bad person? Once, I was the perfect son. And now? He lifted his glass, studying the light through it. Now I'm here, sitting in the world of fools, drinking my frustration away. Azmael said nothing. She just listened, letting the storm inside him find its voice. Well, he continued, I did this to myself, didn't I? I chose this world. Chose it out of pride. You never really know what you've got until it's gone. He turned toward her, eyes glimmering with a trace of sorrow. I can't redeem myself anymore. And look at you, here beside me. We're the same now, Azmael, cast out, imperfect, the rebels, the powerless. And you're all I have left. I don't ask you to love me. I just don't want to lose you. For a long moment, silence hung between them, filled only by the soft clink of glass and the faint hum of the bar. At first, Lucifer said finally, I didn't understand the purpose. Why would Father make us if he knew we'd disobey? But the blame's mine. We were meant to follow orders, not bend them. We can't go back home anymore. He looked up, eyes distant. But maybe the world still needs us. Azmael took Lucifer home with her. She led him into her room and started laying him down. When their eyes met, Azmael froze. She couldn't deny that Lucifer was beautiful. He leaned in slowly, kissing her, and the kiss hit her like electricity. She let him steal another, her hand brushing the back of his neck, feeling the tension there. Lucifer wrapped his arms around her as they fell onto the bed, and she didn't stop him. The second day before the war, Azmael opened her eyes. Naked from last night, she remembered everything. With a sigh, she got dressed and headed downstairs, following the smell of breakfast. Lucifer was at the stove when he finally noticed her. Azmael. My wife has risen. Breakfast is on me, coffee. Or me. He handed her a cup and pressed a quick kiss to her cheek. Wife. What do you mean, wife? Azmael blinked, incredulous. Have you forgotten last night? He smirked. Don't act so innocent, you already had sex with me. She rolled her eyes. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I like you, Lucifer. I just let it happen because you're hot. That's it. Don't flatter yourself. You know I can't, right? I don't do fallen stuff. Come on, really? Are you trying to be the Magdalene of angels now? He said, mock offended. Azmael shook her head, suppressing a grin. I actually called you last night for something serious. The Father declared war, we only have 2 days. Lucifer's grin faded, replaced with a serious nod. All right, he said quietly, though the faint smirk never fully left his face. Chapter 18, The Confrontation. The same afternoon at Havenbrook Hospital, Azmael had another vision. She had just taken a soul from room 205. As she slipped out quietly, eyes fixed on the floor, she noticed a pair of white shoes in her path. She froze. Someone had caught her in the act. Slowly, she lifted her gaze, and there stood Dr. Lucas, his expression sharp, eyes full of suspicion and knowing. The rhythmic beeping of the monitors filled the tense air. What are you doing there, Ms. Grant? He asked, his tone cool and cutting. Azmael's mind went blank. She couldn't think of a single excuse. She stammered, caught between guilt and shock. Nurses rushed into the room. One of them called out, panic in her voice, Doctor. The patient's vitals just dropped. But Lucas didn't move. His eyes never left Azmael. For a long moment, he stood perfectly still. Then he glanced at the clock, exhaled slowly, and said, time of death, 2:05 p.m. He added, barely above a whisper, just for her, it's his time. Azmael's breath caught. What? How do you? Yes, Azmael. I already know. His voice was steady, calm, almost haunting. Stop lying to me. I know the truth. Moments later, they were on the hospital rooftop. The sky hung heavy above them, clouds pressing low, the city hummed faint below. Lucas stood across from her, something glinting in his hand. There's something I want to give back to you, he said quietly. I believe it's yours. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 black feathers, sealed carefully in a small Ziploc bag, the same ones he'd seen the night Azmael vanished into thin air. He held them out to her. Azmael's heart skipped. She took the bag, staring at it as if it were something sacred. I don't know what to say. Thank you, but I really don't need this. She tried to hand it back. Lucas shook his head. No. Keep it. I just didn't want anyone else to find out. Next time you leave, make sure there's no trace left behind. There are dangerous people in this world. Azmael was speechless. So. You're not scared? She asked softly. I was, at first, Lucas admitted, his voice low. I didn't believe in anything beyond what I could touch or measure. I never thought someone like you could exist, that there was something more. I wasn't a believer. Until you appeared. He paused, the weight of memory tightening his throat. The last time I saw something close to a miracle was 12 years ago. I had a patient in room 202, her mother was on the brink of death. I was seconds away from declaring her gone when her monitor suddenly came back to life. I thought it was divine, a sign. But later that night, tragedy struck. His voice cracked slightly. They left the hospital, got into a cab, and were caught in a robbery. The driver was shot. The car crashed. 3 people died instantly. I watched the news the next morning and realized they were the same family. That was when I stopped believing in God. I thought it was a miracle, but it was just cruelty disguised as one. Why save her only to take her later? Why would God allow that? Azmael's body went still. Her face drained of color. She stepped back, trembling, her chest tightening as guilt clawed its way up her throat. Her mind replayed the scene, the woman she spared, the soul she refused to take. That was the moment. Her defiance had rewritten fate, and cost 3 innocent lives. Lucas reached out to steady her. Azmael. What's wrong? She shook her head violently, tears spilling down her cheeks. No, no, no. Her knees gave way, and she collapsed to the cold concrete floor. It's my fault. All of it. I killed those people. I didn't do my job. I disobeyed, that's why the Father cast me out. What? Lucas whispered, stunned. His heart ached watching her break, the divine stripped bare, drowning in guilt like a human. And for the first time, he didn't see an angel. He saw someone lost. Chapter 19, The Redemption. Night fell over Grant's mansion. The air was still. Shadows stretched across the marble floor as the faint ticking of the clock filled the silence. Guilt clung to Azmael like smoke she couldn't breathe out. When she stepped inside, she didn't bother turning on the lights. She walked straight to the couch and sat down, eyes hollow, hands trembling slightly on her lap. Her mind was a storm, memories of the mother, the crash, the boy, the cries that never left her. Lucifer was already there, lounging in the armchair across from her. The faint glow of the fireplace reflected in his eyes as he studied her quietly. "Hello, my twin flame," he said at last, his tone soft but edged with curiosity. "How are you?" She didn't answer. He tilted his head, sensing the weight in the air. "What happened, Azmael?" For a long time, she said nothing. The room held its breath. Then, her voice broke, fragile, trembling. "It was my fault, Lucifer. Everything. It was me." Lucifer didn't move, didn't mock her as he usually did. Instead, he nodded slowly, as if he had been waiting for her to finally understand. "Now you know what I felt," he said quietly. "I thought Father betrayed me. But it was really my own fault. I let my pride consume me, one choice, and everything changed. That's how I ended up here." He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, his voice low and steady. "I've had to accept my fate, Azmael. This is who I am now. I can't go back." Azmael lifted her gaze toward him, eyes still glistening, her breath unsteady. Lucifer continued, softer now, almost tender, "All we can do is live with what we've become. Do our duties as exiles." For the first time, Azmael saw him differently, not as the tempter, not as the fallen one, but as someone who carried his own punishment in silence. She blinked slowly, taking it all in. And in that quiet moment, she understood, it was never just disobedience. It was choice, and consequence. One day before the war, Azmael met Lucas on the hospital rooftop. She nodded quietly. "Thank you, Lucas. I'm very sorry about what happened yesterday." Lucas smiled, understanding. "You don't have to apologize. I get it, Azmael. I can be your friend. You can tell me anything." Azmael returned the smile, feeling a rare warmth. She said goodbye, then let Lucas see her true self. With a graceful leap from the rooftop, black wings spreading, she soared into the night. From the slit of the exit door, someone's eyes watched her. Shadows moved down the stairs before Lucas even noticed. Later that evening, Azmael returned to Grant's mansion at 9 p.m. Lucifer was waiting. "Who is Lucas, Azmael? Is he the reason you can't like me back?" "What? How? How did you know that?" "I saw you on the rooftop. I followed you. And how could you let a human see who you really are? You know it's dangerous. He's just a friend, Lucifer. And could you sneak behind my back like that?" Azmael frowned, realization dawning. "Wait a minute. Are you jealous?" Lucifer faked a cough. "No. Why would I be jealous? I was just trying to protect you. He knew from the beginning. He's just a friend. He even gave me my feather back, but I insisted. He had nothing to worry about. Suddenly, the familiar buzzing sound filled the room. "We have 6 hours," Michael's voice announced. "Geez, Michael. How are you?" "Don't worry, you already won me over when you fought me back from heaven." "I'm good." "How's hell?" "Nothing new." "I'm still the prince," Lucifer said, smirking. "You haven't changed." "Still a rebel," Michael teased. "I'll wait here until we go," Michael added. "You can't just stand there, brother." "Sit," Azmael said. "I'm good here, sister," Michael replied. Lucifer began spreading bread with strawberry jam. "I'm hungry. Want some?" "No, thank you. You know I don't eat human food." "Are you sure?" "This jam is really yummy," Lucifer teased. Michael eyed him warily. "Lucifer, it's your nature to tempt. Relax. I'm not the serpent who tempted Eve. The Father won't curse you. Come on, take a bite." Michael hesitated, then tried it. His eyes went wide. "What? What is this?" "It's amazing. I told you." Lucifer laughed. Michael grabbed the rest of the bread and devoured it fast. Azmael shook her head in disbelief. It was 3 a.m., thunder rumbled across the sky as they stepped outside, into the cold grass. They nodded to each other and flapped their wings. Mount Hermon awaited. The peaks rose tall and snowy into the night sky. The air was sharp and alive, as if the mountain itself were watching. They landed on a high plateau. Michael stepped back, raising his hand to call God. A golden strobe of light hit the mountain, forming a circle down to the abyss. One by one, they descended. Azmael, Lucifer, and Michael entered the abyss. Smoke curled around jagged rocks, and lost souls screamed in endless torment. Azmael's black wings spread. She scanned the souls. "Let's get them out," she said, calm but firm. Light flowed from her words, lifting good souls from their suffering. Lucifer moved beside her. Dark wings unfurled as he reached for the wicked souls, pulling them into hell. Michael charged the watchers. Samayaza, Azazel, Arakiel, Ramiel, Kokabel, and Sariel fought with brutal force, sparks and illusions clashing in a storm of divine power. Samayaza struck first. Sparks flew as Michael blocked and countered. Ramiel unleashed lightning, but Michael struck with precision. Azazel lunged at Lucifer, dark fire erupting. Arakiel twisted the abyss with illusions, but Azmael freed all the good souls. Kokabel hurled stars. Sariel spread fear. Azmael's voice rang out, steady and commanding. "It's your time." Good souls floated upward, away from torment. Lucifer silently delivered the wicked to hell. The watchers roared, struggling against their chains. Samayaza staggered. Azazel hissed but was pinned. Arakiel's illusions shattered. Ramiel's storm died. Kokabel's stars faded. Sariel disappeared into shadows. The abyss trembled. Freed souls rose, good to the light, wicked to hell. Azmael hovered, wings glinting, guiding the last of the souls. Lucifer watched the wicked depart, silent and precise. Michael stood firm, sword raised, chest heaving. The watchers survived, bound but powerless. The souls were safe. The abyss was cleansed. Order restored, for now. 1 month later. Azmael and Lucifer had redeemed their guilt. Michael still visited, often for his favorite bite of jam. Azmael and Lucifer had learned their lessons. They lived quietly, hiding their celestial duties from the human world while still ensuring souls reached their destiny. Azmael realized she truly liked Lucas, but the chemistry wasn't there. The love waiting for her had been by her side all along, Lucifer. Dr. Lucas and Azmael became close friends. Their celestial secrets were safe with him. Azmael could freely roam the hospital whenever a good soul needed her help. Azmael's fall hadn't ended her story. It was just another adventure beginning. Her disobedience hadn't led to disaster, it had been a lesson for everyone. God, the Father, has a plan for everything, even for your scars. His will always prevail, no matter who stands against it.